Okay, I think it's time we get this show on the road, and welcome to Discover Your Real Estate Career. Today's topic is just general open house safety. It's been amazing over the last couple of years. COVID pretty much just shut us down as far as open houses are concerned, and we haven't had the opportunity to do that. And then when we did, we were able to gather information on the people coming into the house quite comfortably because, we were required to do so. But the market's changing and those requirements are changing, and there's a couple of things that we really need to be concerned about and revisit and just have a good, clear understanding and know what we're doing as we go into these open houses as a realtor. So the first thing is as we begin to hold these open houses, we need to pay really close attention to our personal safety and also the occupant's personal property. So number one, you've got to have an exit strategy, and always have, look around, be aware where you're at, and leave the back door unlocked. Just have your exit strategy in case someone puts you into a dangerous position. The other thing is I would suggest for you to really follow your sixth sense. If you've got a feeling that somebody is in there that shouldn't be, pay attention to that. That's a big deal for you, is that. Always be aware of your surroundings. The other thing that I think is important, that you have a code word with someone who knows where you're at. So you can either have that pre-texted in or call them, have their number ready to go. And for example, if you text him and say peanut butter, they know to call the police. And that would be, of your best interest and safety at hand. So trust your instincts when you're doing that. As far as the occupant's personal property is concerned, you really got to be aware these days. Unfortunately, the bad guys haven't been able to get into the open houses over the last couple of years, but they're coming out, and with full vengeance as well. So as a listing agent, you've got to make sure that you coach up your sellers. Coach up your sellers on securing their valuables. And by the way, that doesn't mean to put them in a bag and put them in the freezer or whatever you've got going on. It means either putting them safely into a safe, remove them, take them with you, put them in the trunk of their car when they leave for the open house, but really pay attention to that, and in securing their valuables. Number two is have a sign-in sheet, and when people walk into your open house, you just got to explain to them that it's a seller's requirement that you sign in, and sure, you're going to get some bogus names and phone numbers and email addresses, but that's okay. You're still putting people on notice that we are paying attention. Next thing is, and this was wonderful. I saw this in one of our agents had at their open house last weekend. Post a sign. Just make a sign up by an 11.5 sheet, 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and just make a sign that says these premises may be under visual and audio surveillance. And I think that in itself is another really valuable tool for you to protect not only yourself, but the owner's valuables as well. Keep an eye on the time people are spending in certain areas of the house. Keep an eye on, watching. If somebody disappears into the master bedroom or disappears into another area of the house, and they're gone for a period of time, walk back there and check on them, and just kind of keep flowing with the folks that are coming into the open houses. And that's a huge deal. And then also be aware, if people, they work together. If somebody comes into the open house and then all of a sudden you've got a family that walks in, or you've got another group that walks in, and they're really dominating the conversation, and which distracts you, and it moves that other person into that other part of the house where they can explore and they know what they're looking for. They've got a good eye for the valuables. So keep an eye on that. The other thing is like having a co-host. Have a co-host with you when you're at that open house. Have a buddy. Have another realtor there with you, and then the two of you can really kind of just freely roam around the open house, and asking questions and just making sure everyone is behaving themselves. Right? I think that's really important. And then the other thing, and this is kind of difficult to do, but and it's all part of being aware. And if you're looking, keep an eye out in the front of the house. Is someone lingering in the front of the house, just kind of eyeballing it and haven't been in yet, but they're just kind of standing in the driveway for 5 or 10 minutes, or standing in the street for 5 or 10 minutes? Keep an eye on that and be suspicious as well of that activity. And then over friendly guests. Those are, unfortunately, it's like, doggone it, do we really got to worry about somebody being overly friendly? Maybe, hopefully not, but maybe you do. You got to be aware of of your surroundings and what's going on. And we're not used to that as realtors over the last couple of years, because we haven't had to worry about any of that. The next thing is when you're holding a vacant open house, the house is vacant and you're holding that, you don't have to be inside with everybody that goes inside of that place. You can, if you're uneasy about somebody, you can just open the door and let them go right on in and explore for themselves. But again, I think the buddy system is really appropriate. Now, with that buddy system, have a plan up front with that person. You want to plan, okay, well, how are we going to make this thing flow? How are we going to work the contacts that come through that open house? Are we going to split them up and just each take, our group and go, pool and split type of deal? Or, are you going to work those people together as a team? So, you want to have that agreement in line, so all of a sudden the day's not over, the day's over and you've got, 20 prospects, and now we're trying to figure out how we're going to split those up. So get that done up front as well. As an agent and a professional realtor, you want to be able to do that. So these are the things that really we need to pay attention to as far as open houses. And then just on a practical point of view, we want to make sure that you sign that property in just effectively. Get it signed in, and have your signs out. And my dad always taught me, he said, if you're looking, like if you're getting on the freeway, the arrow and the sign to the freeway isn't after the on-ramp. It's before the on-ramp. So, the same thing applies to open house signs. Make sure you're posting your open house sign, on this side of the street, to where when you're making that right-hand turn, it's not on the other side of the street, it's on this side. Same way, if you're making a left, of course, that would be the same as well. But make sure you give your prospects plenty of time to find that. And then also, using the multiple listing service to able to push that out to the various aggregate sites that we use for your open houses. Make sure you're doing that. And there's a lot of check marks that we got to go through as realtors on those open houses to make sure that everybody's able to get in and take a look at it that's interested in that product. So I really hope this helps you out. I hope that, I really hope for your safety. Be aware, be cautious, and be prepared. And as always, be prepared in what you're doing. But with that, I just want to say thanks for listening today. Charge on.